Hi there, we're here at the probably ugly Teatro Arcimboldi, it's called, in the north of Milan. And we're here to have a look at another immersive experience, and this time it's with the artist Claude Monet. So let's dive in and see what it's all about, and then we can comment on it during and after.
Passing through a quick brief on COVID safety precautions for anyone who still isn't familiar with the ways to keep yourself and others alive in a pandemic, you pass into a kind of antechamber. Classical music wafts around the room, decked out in Monet lookalikes, and notes on his technique and colour palette, as well as his passion for Japanese prints. He collected 211 prints, mostly by Hokusai and Otomaro, which decorated his home in Giverny. They influenced his painting and his garden, which in our exhibition provides the first Instagram opportunity for visitors on one of the large replica bridges spanning a projected pond. Then you pass into the immersion proper. 28 overhead projectors cover every wall and the floor with a colourful narrative set out in chronological episodes. The detail's well thought out, with little shadow cameos describing street scenes, in this case from late 19th century Paris, or whatever the context is for certain periods in Monet's life. The audience stand or sit in the space, and the experience literally unfurls around you. With multiple images happening on different walls, sometimes it's a little hard to make sense of it, and probably best to just let it wash over you. There's no narration and no real guide as to what you're seeing. Either you know you're Monet or you don't. Some might be energised and enthused though, and go away and seek out more Monet online. Others will just soak it in and record their Monet moment for posterity on their cell phones. The years roll by and the references come thick and fast to different places and different themes which dominated Monet's work. The graphics, I have to say, are absolutely first class, and a huge amount of work has obviously gone into the design and the realisation of this experience. But drifting from Paris to London to Venice, with works often woven into the animation, I did get the sense that possibly the work of the technical team was almost trying to upstage the work of the artist himself. Fun though it was, and definitely immersive, it didn't feel as though it was giving me much more than a very superficial sensorial taste of Monet the man and the artist, and that was a bit of a shame. It didn't really close the gap between the man and the audience either, even though a few younger visitors were clearly inspired, and that is terrific. Now, if past artists aren't inspiring new artists, then something's going very wrong indeed, and that's exactly what retromodernism is seeking to put into place. Now, we're looking to do that by tracing and retelling the stories that link, for example, Hokusai to Monet, and how the concept of floating space comes out in his work, filtered and coloured by his imagination and his imprinting. That's our real focus as retromodernists, but so too is the way in which art is presented to the public and to the budding new artists that are hopefully coming through, like the young gentleman we saw earlier. The great museums and galleries of the world will always be the primary interface with great works. Their imposing architecture, the consummate skills of their curators, and that curious semi-hush and awe of appreciation as people thrill to masterpieces that they're familiar with and tingle to the novelty of works that they've never seen before. It's a great place and it's a great space, and that'll never go away. But in a digital age where we want to draw in and connect with new audiences, projection is a pretty interesting option, and it bypasses the cost and the effort of transporting the original works from all corners of the world. Now, of course, it's part and parcel of a constant upgrading. Those classical buildings, those wonderful galleries are terrific, but it's the same as it's been for almost hundreds of years now. let's look for something a little original. Let's look for some ways of engaging people in a new and exciting way, using sound and using projection and walking through. I mean, this obviously is going to be something that's incredibly important, is not having static audiences in galleries. So the immersive Monet experience, and indeed the René Magritte experience, which there's a video on that as well on this channel, were both really interesting, but to me they felt a little bit like sort of halfway houses between that traditional gallery experience and something that could, with a little bit extra planning and thought, become really exciting. Something that's more about the art, maybe combining original pieces with something far more experiential. We've seen it happen in London, for example. The V&A are masters at this kind of exhibition. The Tim Walker exhibition was one in particular. But laying that out as a challenge, then possibly that's something that retromodernism as a movement could pick up and deliver a really fantastic idea and a really fantastic show to explain what it's all about and where we plan to go in the future. Thanks for listening to me. Thanks for watching. As usual, please do subscribe to the channel. Like the video. It all helps. YouTube works that way. And we'll be planning more for you and look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks ever so much and bye-bye for now.